Patience.
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 Detroit Tigers.
Why would you say that?
I don't want to hear it.
Yeah. Well, get used to it, everybody.
I want it now.
Patience. Like, they are actually building something, the Tigers. The whole rebuild of the past, the last 10 years, everything we've been waiting for. Yes, it sucks. It blows. It's been a horrible decade. Since Scott Harris has got here, that's where everything restarted over from the beginning. So I get the frustration for the whole thing, but every move since Scott Harris came 22 months ago, not even 2 years, it's been completely different than what we should have expected from Al Avila and Chris Illich before, and ownership and in the front office. Like, they used to draft decent players. They had no developmental structure at all. There's no players. Maybe a couple pitchers here and there. Maybe you get your one hitter occasionally. Really, you didn't. There is no developmental structure. Scott Harris is coming in trying to rebuild this organization. It was just lip service before, years ago, when they said the rebuild is over, blah, 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 blah. When you draft players, you don't develop them, and then you go out and you spend money on shitty free agents like Javi Baez. This is the mess that Scott Harris walked into. Yeah. Scott Harris hasn't been perfect. Every move he's made hasn't been perfect. But what he's doing, he's been doing a lot of good things, a lot of really good things. We just don't see it. It's at the single A level. It's at the double A level. He's had to literally start from the bottom. You can't start at the major league level. You have to start at the bottom. There are questions that need to be answered 100%. And at this specific trade deadline, there were some underwhelming moments when you consider the hype. But when I look back on the trade deadline, it's not an A, it's not an A+, but it's a win of a deadline. Like, they just shipped out 4 rentals for 8 prospects, 4 of which are now in the Tigers' top 30. I got crushed for saying patience, that they have a bright future. People, what are you talking about, bright future? 20 of their top 30 prospects are in single or double A right now. They're below double A, not triple A, not all the guys that Avila drafted and they tried to develop in the previous regime. Everything Scott Harris has done is turning into top 20 prospects, top 30 prospects, just below the double A level. 4 of which now from this trade deadline are now in the top 30. What? The number 1 prospect moved at this deadline. Thyron Lenzano, the catcher / first baseman from the Dodgers, in the underwhelming Flaherty trade because of what we saw Kikuchi get from the Astros, or the Blue Jays get for Kikuchi. If you really step back and look and understand, Scott Harris and most major league organizations, they don't follow the prospect. Like, they don't base their scouting on Baseball America or the MLB Pipeline report.